Hello everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. Today we're gonna do our usual energy check. I'm still overwhelmed and trying to deal with what is happening right now with my friends and family in Ukraine. The events are developing quickly, so trying to stay on top of things and help whichever way I can from here. But yeah, apologies if I don't respond to your emails quickly enough, but I'm also trying to kind of remedy certain situations there. It's tough. And actually, I will post a few resources in the description box or maybe in the pinned comment to this video where there is information of how to donate, the trusted sources of how you can help. Also, at the moment, Ukraine needs volunteers, needs people who are ready to come and help. They're staying very strong. They're fighting Russia off, but there's just not enough people compared to what the Russians have on their side. So yeah, that's the general note right now. And of course, any help is appreciated at this time. Okay, in the meantime, let's see what's happening in Twinflame world. Today I'll be using my used tarot deck, which is a bit more surreal, a bit more 5D realm. That's what I call it. I also have my Hermit Tarot for messages between twins. I feel like we will need that today. We will need to go deeper. Maybe I'll use Beyond Lemuria. We'll see how it works. Actually, yeah, we will use Beyond Lemuria. Yeah, let's start with it. Yeah, I'm feeling that the energies are shifting, and I'm seeing the Hermit Tarot card, the Hermit card, a lot. And I'm just getting this vibe that twins are now processing everything that happened, recently in their own lives or in the connection, and everybody's just taking time and space to get their head around what is happening. And of course, all the events with the war and with how a global economy is now being shook up, because every country is pretty much every country is impacted in one way or another, right? Because of all the sanctions in Russia, because of the tension in the relationship of who is taking whose side, the decisions on economic ties, on import, export, supply chain information, that all is being revisited. Contracts are being broken, new contracts are being signed. The situation with energy and oil and gas supply in Europe is changing quickly. It's a lot to take in. And although it's not directly connected to Twinflame journey, but everything is, right? And these things are impacting us in different ways too. So some of us as a warning sign, I'm hearing, but it's still important, right? So if we hear it as a red flag, it's like, okay, I need to get my, finances in order, or maybe I need my family to come live with me so that at least we're together and it's easier to help each other out if something bad happens. Things like that, but it impacts your life, really. It impacts your plans. So what do we have for Divine Feminine at the moment? Got 3 cards, but I'm gonna take them all. We have Transformation. Yes. We have Fire, Solaris, Sublime, and we have Earth Star Chakra, Initiation. So Earth and Fire are at play at the moment. And just as we were talking about the war, yeah, Earth and Fire are definitely playing a big part in that. But also what I'm getting right now as a message is that it's like a rebalancing time right now between these elements and how they're impacting our energy, our life. Let me just actually read the one for Fire. For some reason I'm being drawn to that card. Let me read from the book. We live in a dualistic world of light and dark, yin and yang, masculine and feminine. Focusing only on light can repress our shadows. Bringing both sides into balance and being real with our humanness allows us to reach more joy, authenticity, and depth. By accepting and loving all of ourselves as we truly are, we can extend more of this love and have deeper compassion with others. This painting portrays the balanced dance of creation. The greater the distance of separation, of duality, the greater the density. As the dragons come together, they dissolve into one with all that is. In this place of coalescence, the fusion brings both sides together in oneness, not just as a merging with the universe, but in an alchemical process of becoming the empowered creative force we truly are. Yeah, so it's about elimination, power, passion, forging forward, and transformation. And we already had a transformation here. And of course, as we transmute and as we worked with these different energies, that gets implemented and applied in the 3D realm, right? Which is really the earth. This is the earth chakra, but like the earth element, it's directly connected with our life in 3D. So these energies directly impact on, how we live our life day in, day out on this planet. There is a big transformational time. Let's see what we have for divine masculines. Full spectrum, 26. Yeah, this is definitely, you can see the full spectrum in this case. We're reading all the chakras here. It's Kundalini awakening, I'm hearing. It's masculines starting to see or to feel that there are other aspects of knowledge, of emotional intelligence, of the depth that we can have as people in this life. And of course, not all of them kind of link it to special gifts that they have, the special mission that they have, but at least they're reading this, that there is more, in other words, there's more to life than what they've been focusing on. And a lot of them are kind of standing still these days, just recalibrating and absorbing the information that's coming in on all levels. If they let it in, for those who do allow for it to access their energetic field, it naturally helps them to kind of rebalance and unblock the chakras. For those who are resisting, it's harder, but what I'm also getting is that it's just a matter of time until that impulse gets through to them. Okay, it's interesting. So let's get into tarot now. And the first question is usually the energy. I have Ace of Voices for feminine, Ace of Swords. What about masculines? Okay. And since we're talking about duality and transformation, here we have Seven of Voices, the Moon in reverse, okay? Since we're talking about transformation, that I'm gonna ask additional questions. It should be, what is currently the challenge, and what is to be appreciated at this time, right? Because we are asked to embrace both our light and shadow side. So what does it really mean in terms of the shadow, first of all, the challenges that we are facing, we're working through? For feminines first. Nine of Materials and Muse of Voices. Yeah. For masculines, I'm just gonna get all the cards and then I'll clarify. Okay, for masculines, we got 3 of voices as a challenge. The heartache, the pain. What about needs to be appreciated? The power of light that we have in our lives right now. For feminines first. Okay. Have the Wheel of Fortune and 10 of Emotions. Wow, that's amazing. I love this. What about masculines? What is the light right now? What is to be appreciated? Four voices, okay. Bottom of the deck, Muse of Inspiration. This is King of Wands in the regular deck. So again, we're seeing the element of fire at play here, right? Wands are fire, mastering the element of fire. And you can take it in and kind of play with that idea and see what it means for you. But fire can destroy or it can create, really, right? When we are using fire to forge something out of metal, we are creating something, right? For example. But it can easily cause a fire and burn and kill and lead to explosions and destruction, right? So it's all about how you master that element and how you use it for good, not for evil. Please clarify Ace of Voices for the feminine energy. Okay, yeah, we see some repeated patterns here. Please, okay. Please clarify Muse of Voices, Nine of Materials for the challenge. Okay, please clarify Three of Voices for masculines. Please clarify, thank you. The Emperor, the Lovers, wow. Please clarify Four of Voices for masculines. I think I'm getting good grip of these holographic cards. Knight of Wands. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Cups. I'm hearing with this, in this case, with the Eight of Cups, that this is walking away from the darkness, from the shadow. And darkness does not necessarily mean in this case the negative, but it means absence of light. It's like when you can't see, like, you know, like, how do I say? The absence of knowledge, the absence of awareness, right? When we just, like, it becomes blank in our mind, when you have a blind spot. Yeah, so walking away from having blind spots or lack of awareness. There we go. So the current energy for the feminines, and we actually see Nine of Pentacles in the challenge box as well. So what I'm getting here, and the heartache, yeah. That right now it's, there is some truth that's hard to admit for divine feminines. Some of it is in how powerful you are by yourself and how much you can actually achieve without needing to wait for the perfect time, for the perfect mentor, partner, without needing that extra resources, you know, like whatever excuses you've been telling yourself, this is the time to acknowledge that actually you are ready. For whatever that goal, that mission, that dream is that you're pursuing, you're ready to go for it. On the other side, the other part of the truth is that there's still some stuff to heal. There is still more chakra work to do, especially around your heart chakra. Because that pain that you have, or, you know, the sadness, the upset, the grief, it's stopping you from moving forward and getting into this beautiful energy of abundance and power. So it's kind of, it's as if you had something heavy tied to your leg, right? Let's say a brick tied to your leg. You can still walk, but it becomes a lot harder, unnecessarily hard. So this is something to think about, to pinpoint for yourself. For challenges for divine feminine, we see the Muse of Voices, which is King of Swords, really. Nine of Materials, clarified by Four of Cups. Yeah, so it's challenging to admit to yourself in your conscious mind that you've missed an opportunity to kind of to amplify, to grow when you had a chance. Like maybe you've missed more than one opportunity, I'm hearing, for some of you. And it's hard to admit that and to live with that, to still be okay with it, right? Because it's also about, like, maybe you cannot use the same tactics, the same strategy as you did before, because that train is gone. But it just means, get back to the drawing board, replan, rethink what feels right now, what feels important to do right now, right? And the possibilities are still limitless. And this cup that is provided by the hand of the divine is still, that offer is on the table. It's just about you acknowledging that it may look somewhat different than what you had in mind, right? So strategize as the King of Swords would do, right? And just confidently move forward. That's the challenge right now, but that's really what you've been asked to do. And you probably know it if you're finding it challenging. Hope that makes sense. For things to appreciate, we have 10 of Cups and the Wheel of Fortune here. This is the biggest thing, and we have the Emperor and the Lovers. The biggest thing to appreciate is the love of the divine for you, divine feminine. Is all the different blessings and gifts and kindness and love that the divine has prepared for you, that has been shared with you, and there's still so much to be given out, to be shared, to be provided. But the important part is then the Lover's card, and right away it reminds us, right, about this. The priority is we have the Lovers here between a man and a woman, but the priority is still the relationship between divine feminine and the divine. You see, she's looking up. That's the priority. Priority number one is yourself, of course, self-love, but then it's the connection with the divine. It's that love story, and only after that it's the connection to divine masculine. If you try to do it any other way, or you focus on the masculine first, it's just not gonna work out. That's why everybody's saying, who's been around on the journey for a while, that you cannot trick that. You need to step into mission. You need to work on yourself. Focus on yourself. Worry about yourself. Don't worry, but you know what I mean. If you're looking at your masculine and you're like, oh, this is terrible, they're not even close to where they're supposed to be, or they are making some stupid decisions in their life, or oh wow, they're so unaware. When are they going to be aware? It's probably never going to happen. Don't worry about that. Don't think about that. It's we have Wheel of Fortune, for the divine intervention to happen and to do that. But you will be seeing that progress as you progress yourself. That's the part of the contract, right? So today, to appreciate is to first of all appreciate the partner that you already have in your life, which is the divine. It's also your spirit guides and your angels, I'm hearing, because you have your team, your dedicated team of powerful beings that are there to protect you, to guide you, to give you comfort, to help you grow. Don't forget about them, and don't forget about communication with them for positive and negative things, asking for help, thanking them, asking for collaboration when you work through your light work, all of those things. For masculines, we have 7 of Voices and the Moon in reverse. Yeah, so there is definitely a lack of seeing it. Lack of connection. We have King of Wands as the clarifier. Lack of connection to the intuition, to the intuitive self. The good part is the masculines actually realizing that something's up. They're not seeing full picture. There is more to it than what they thought, or what they think, or what they know. But the bad side is they don't know what they don't know. Right? They're still kind of searching for it. I feel this even anxiety to some extent, where they're trying to figure it out, but they can't put a finger on it. What are they missing in the story? What are they supposed to do now? They know they cannot keep doing exactly the same stuff that they used to before, but they also don't know what is it that I'm supposed to do. In the challenging part, we have 3 of voices clarified by 8 of wands. Yeah, so they are still in grief and in kind of they're in a heartbroken situation from the past communication in the connection. It could have been, of course, that they've done or said something wrong. It could be just generally the argument and lack of understanding and agreement at something. And no matter whether they think they're right or they made a mistake, there's still this sadness right now that we're not in a good place, that something could have been better, and it would be great to have divine feminine to reach out to at this time, but they don't. It feels like, because when they are in this anxious, overwhelming state, naturally, because they are so connected to divine feminine energy, that intuitively is the person they'd like to share and they'd like to get some comfort from, some support from. But they can't because they're not in a good place now. It's not that easy because of what was communicated recently, or wasn't for some, if you haven't been in touch for a while. They can't just show up and be like, well, you know what, I'm having a really bad day, can we talk? They know that it's not gonna be right. And that's the grieving part. Not even having the courage to overcome that feeling of shame and embarrassment to make it right, to get to a good place. Things to be appreciated are 4 voices and clarified by Knight of Wands. Yeah, so the lack of movement and that stillness that they experience is actually a good opportunity to take some rest, to heal the broken heart, maybe just general exhaustion if they've been overworking themselves or too anxious about something. This is the time to recover. And the enthusiasm to recover, to get better physically, mentally, spiritually, is driven by their passion for the connection. And I know it's a little hard to unpack, but it's almost like this is what's giving them hope. That's what's giving them power. That's what's telling them that it's worth staying strong, working through the challenges, through the tough times, appreciating the good, and working on themselves, taking chances of doing things differently. Yeah, the Twinflame connection is giving them, and I mean, of course, the divine feminine, right? Because they're seeing it as another person for the most part. That's what this connection and the divine feminine themselves, what she is doing, she meaning the energy, take gender how it resonates. Whatever divine feminine is doing, the life they're leading is being inspiring on its own. It's very attractive for them, and it's driving them to kind of pursue more of that self-analysis, to introspect more. Okay, now to finish off, this turned out to be a long reading. Apologies for that. Let's get some messages. Let's see what we have from divine masculine to divine feminine. Okay, we have, I think we should slow down. Wait. I'm open to compromise and reach out. Wait, but reach out. So they don't feel like there's a lot to do right now, or that they're feeling good enough to move forward with some action, but they're definitely missing you, divine feminine. And they understand that if you had the same conversation you had before where something went wrong, if you two were to have this conversation today, they would have done things differently, because they didn't want to feel that pain that they were feeling. Because even if they just hurt you, they ultimately hurt themselves, and they feel the pain, even if they don't tell you. Even if they don't realize it, but now they are. Messages from divine feminines to divine masculines. Okay. We have, I'm too afraid to talk. Now is not the time. Yeah, so continuation of this sort of hermit mode for both. And love is the answer. So divine feminine is saying, I do love you. It's unconditional. You know, I keep you in my heart, in my prayers. You know, we are connected no matter what. But right now, I need time for myself. You know, I need to take care of myself and my connection with the divine, my spiritual journey. And that's healthy, that's fine. And unfortunately, so many times we feel like we owe to other people to give them attention and time and resources when we are not really in resource, when we are not okay. But it's not the case, and it should be still not very acceptable, but it should be more common to be able to say to a person, you know what, I'm not doing well today, so I can't really meet you. I can't go out today. I need time for myself. That should be okay to say and to do. So it's good that the twins actually, at least they're understanding that this hermit mode is necessary right now, and they are making use of it. Hopefully. Okay, I thank you guys for joining me today. If you like what I'm doing, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, or comment. And otherwise, I'll talk to you all very, very soon. Bye, everyone.